Can you see the content of this box? Lots of drugs, right? So, in this video, I want to talk about everything I know. Not everything, but some simple stuff I know that can help most people um, when they decide to take anything for anxiety, and especially for those who have severe HPPD or sorry even those who doesn't have so much severe HPPD but still have anxiety, right? As you can see, I'm very experienced benzo adventure, right? And I need to say that it's a very slippery slope, as most people are gonna tell you, right? But the fact is, I abused benzos as fuck. As fuck. I mean, after my LSD bad trip, I was taking like a bottle of clonazepam I would take in 1 week. This would last me 1 week. And uh, there's like 50 milligrams of clonopin in this bottle, and it's the one that hits the harder. You know, the pill clonopin doesn't hit so good as this as clonopin hits you. So, in my little love, my favorite benzo that I abuse it the most, Valium, right? These pills look so delicious. They look delicious. And that's why I have this box. So they keep in the fucking box, you know? I only take them if I ever really need them now, you know? Uh, I won't lie that benzos stick in your mind like glue forever. Like, if you ever took benzos, especially if you took them because you have anxiety, and especially if you abused benzos so you could like feel better than just not having anxiety, which is like the purpose of benzos. And not the purpose, I mean, it's why people take them recreationally, right? Uh, um, Continuing, they will be in your mind all the time, you know? Psychological anxiety can create you thoughts, making you believe that you need them to do something, or that something is happening in your brain and you're gonna have an anxiety attack, right? And and you're not gonna have an anxiety attack, especially if you take care of yourself, right? I know it's easier said than done, but let's talk about basic chemistry here, right? When you exercise, the body cuts out some GABA, you know, it fires glutamate, so you have strength, so you have affinity with your body movements and your muscles, right? It needs to fire complex messages, right? So that's why people that tell you that exercising will fucking help you, they are not joking, you know? At least try out doing push-ups every day at morning, right? Because I wanted to make a video with better advice than my latest video because I was stoned, and I decided to make a cool video while sober, you know? But ah okay, your body lacks GABA when you are exercising, especially if you exercise hard, right? And if you exercise running, right? If you exercise running until you are fucking tired, and running the most you can, not running like jogging and chilling, no, running as if your life is supposed to end and you are running from a fucking monster or something, you know? All right. Your brain will make a lot of things to help you relax after you exercise, right? So not only it releases those feel good chemicals, but it also helps you have more control over the GABA glutamate mechanism, right? But not only that, we are talking about a huge improvement, not basic improvements of physical anxiety, right? Because the brain has lots of different GABA receptors and glutamate releasing sites, and we are talking, especially with HPPD, we are talking about the visual cortex and serotonin related visually related parts of the brain, right? So let's talk about benzos first, because benzos are the most used medicine for anxiety, right? So this guy right here, this guy right here is Klonopin. As some studies show, Klonopin has activity on the 5-HTA2 serotonin receptor, right? So does that this serotonin receptor, this specific one, has to do with HPPD, has to do with hallucinogenic messages in the brain, right? That's also where weed takes a role in increasing those hallucinogenic synapses. I believe that most people that are obsessed with HPPD or suffer with HPPD to the point they obsess in researching, just like I did, you know, will understand what I'm talking about here. So, the first benzo you're looking for if you are trying to take some benzos for HPPD is Klonopin, right? And it has a long half life, which means you're not gonna suffer rebound anxiety the next day or the other day or the other day, but in the fifth day or something like that, if you even get rebound anxiety, because the idea of a long half-life benzo is to avoid rebound anxiety or to at least be safe from anxiety for a couple days, right? So you go high and you land slowly, but that's not specifically the content of a video I was expecting to do in this one. So let's talk about enhancing your GABA system so it takes control over the glutamate, you know. So first of all, why does cannabis upregulate GABA A receptors? It's the same receptor for clonopin, right? Because it makes glutamate fire messages that goes straight to the GABA A receptor. And that is mostly a mental uh, activity we are talking about when we talk about GABA A, but it's also the benzodiazepines receptors that are possibly more related to the GABA A mechanism, right? That's why they work so good. It wouldn't be GABA A if it wasn't the main GABA receptor site, right? But let's continue. A supplement I need to recommend here first is kava kava, right? Kava kava works as an allosteric modulator of the GABA receptor, right? So different than benzos that go there and flood your GABA receptor with synthetic GABA. Actually, kava kava, this magic plant, will actually make your GABA receptor better at receiving your own natural GABA. So you can kind of say it helps your brain adapt to its own anxious activity, right? And what's the best thing about kava? Every time you take kava, your tolerance for kava gets lower. So GABA efficacy gets better every time you dose kava. I mean, I wouldn't believe it happens so fast that you could be taking one pill every 10 minutes and it would only get stronger. I actually believe you need to take a good dose. In the next day, you can take half that dose and feel the same effect. In the next day, if you take the same dose, you're gonna be feeling great. Right? So, we were interrupted, but let's catch up, right? Kava will help your brain adapt to its own activity. So, I believe it's one of the best supplements a person could take. Obviously, lots of people have adverse reactions to GABA, but most people are gonna benefit. And the only bad and the downsides from kava that I know are it is at some parts of the plant toxic for the liver. But if you buy a good kava, not like me because I buy the cheapest one available in the store, um, you're not gonna have trouble, right? And you can buy the roots, make a little research about it to see if it's the best for you. But I totally recommend because now that I have GABA, GABA, now that I have GABA, I don't feel the need or the urge to take benzos so much anymore. Because I abuse it too much benzos. I have anxiety, and lots of times I just want something to take the edge off. Of course, my addict mentality makes me want to numb myself and get really high and black out. It's so tempting, but it's not what I need right now. It's not what you need right now. You need to be stable while sober, while doing anything. So we are looking for a long-term improvement on the GABA sites, right? And we are looking as well for a natural, healthy flow of glutamate. So let me tell you a short story on how I lowered my benzo tolerance in a couple months to the point I was taking 40 milligrams of Valium. This guy right here, I was taking like four of these to get high, and I stopped because I ran out. And I spent a year working out every day, drinking coffee as fuck on the mornings and during the whole day. I would start drinking caffeine 6 a.m. just to wake up, like two big mugs, just to wake up. And I would drink coffee during the whole day until it was like 7 p.m., you know, and I would smoke weed all the time as well. And when I had the LSD bad trip, I tried smoking cannabis again, and I felt the same feeling from the bad trip. I felt wrecked. And I decided to take benzos again. But the thing is, the funny thing is, this time I wasn't taking four pills to get relaxed and to control my anxiety. I was actually taking half of the half of a 10 milligrams pill. That means I was taking 2.5 milligrams to feel relaxed from Valium, when in the past I would need at least 10 milligrams, right? So, what do I do now that I don't abuse or take any benzos at all? Valium has this funny, weird mechanism that I believe Clonopin has as well. That if you take a microdose, like if I bite the pill like See, nothing, right? Nothing. In the future, when I dose a bigger quantity of Valium, it hits harder, you know. So microdosing Valium, probably microdosing Klonopin as well, has this reverse tolerance thing where in the next moment where you dose a bigger amount of the benzo, it will hit harder. I'm gonna probably put a link in the description where you will see a Reddit user named Revelant Barnacle, weird name, uh, where he was tapering Valium after abusing from 50 milligrams per day to zero point 0.1 milligrams per day. He took zero point 0.1 milligrams for 2 weeks, and he said that something happened and he was getting relaxed, relaxed. He was getting sedated all the whole fucking day naturally, and that he was blacking out from taking like zero point 0.5 milligrams. That's still a microdose. So the dude was blacking out from a microscopic, even more microscopic amount of Valium. So basically, this reverse tolerance thing can make your brain react different to your own GABA. GABA. I'm so smart. So let's return to the video. We are talking about enhancing GABA, right? Another thing, another supplement that I don't have in the moment to show you guys is Lactobacillus rhamnosus, which is a probiotic which you can buy in any pharmacy probably, and it upregulates GABA receptors. It's basically a gut bacteria. Everybody should know that there is extreme relationship between the gut and the brain, right? So basically, this bacteria eats GABA. So it tricks your body into believing that you have some sort of parasite or something that eats the acid that makes you relax, right? So somehow your brain upregulates the GABA receptors in the brain because in your guts there is a bacteria that eats GABA, right? Your brain recognizes that and he does its job, right? So I believe that instead of looking for a temporary relief from anxiety, especially HPPG sufferers, we need to look how to best use the tools we have to have a long-term decrease in anxiety. So, I know it's stupid, but you need a multivitamins, right? And you need omega-3, okay? Because if you are trying to build new synapses, if you're trying to build new GABA receptors, you need to fuel your brain with everything it needs to actually fix itself, right? Um About the microdose of benzos, I recommend you guys to do it once in a while, maximum 2 days in a row if you're gonna microdose Valium, right? And no, microdosing Valium is not gonna make you go into withdrawals, right? Actually may cause the opposite, as I said. It may uh, make you more sensitive to GABA, uh, more sensitive to benzos themselves. And while it is an amazing idea, while it can be very, very, very beneficial, you can get too sedated on the day-to-day activities. So, yes, I recommend that you take care doing this. The caffeine that I talked about of how did I diminish my benzo tolerance plays a huge role. Uh, Basically, the chemistry involved is you have adenosine, which is the restless and being tired chemical of the brain. So, if you are really tired, your brain is probably building up adenosine to control if you are feeling restless or not. What caffeine basically does is blocking activity of adenosine and going into the adenosine receptor instead. So the brain builds up adenosine, but it can't calm down. It can't simply feel tired. So the mechanism of the brain to feel tired again and um, to actually be able to give you some feeling that you need to rest, especially if you drank caffeine the whole day, is upregulating GABA receptors as well. So basically, if you make your brain release glutamate in excess because you are exercising, running, being stressed, being stimulated, or working, it's gonna eventually grow new GABA receptors to control that. Also, if you take kava, you are helping your brain to adaptate to its own activity, right? And kava has um, temporary effects of being relaxed or something, but it has long-term benefits. That's why you need to hit hard on that kava. Not, it's nothing like the other supplements we have. It's nothing like taking a temporary relief substance that's gonna fuck you up in the long run, right? Also, uh, for those who are gonna try benzos, please be conscious, right? Try to lower your tolerance before you take a big dose, because if you have big tolerance and keep dosing and uh, keep trying to use benzos for that purpose, they're gonna bite you back, especially if you need big quantities to get the effects you are looking for. Also, I wanted to talk about another GABAergic drug that it's not specifically GABAergic at all, and I have only a few because I took a lot of it, because it's uh, unlike benzos, it can give you some relaxation, give you some euphoria, maybe overall well-being, you know, feelings, and it is pregabalin. Oh, look, I took too much. I only have this, right? I only have this, guys, here. And uh, if you are looking for having a stash that could possibly allow you to take it uh, more often, anxiety relief drugs, I totally recommend that you not only work on reducing tolerance on the day-to-day life, on improving your brain on the day-to-day life, and to cycle different chemicals, different substances that will act in different manners with the same effect. So basically, pregabalin blocks, not blocks, it goes to the I forgot the fucking name of that shit. I believe it goes to the calcium channels or potassium channels, and it kind of modulates the GABA release, the electric activity, in those synapses. So it feels good. It makes you high, right? Especially if you don't take it too often, right? I use it to take like um, 475 milligrams to get high, right? After a while, without taking any, even me drinking, even me doing lots of things, I can take one of these of 150 milligrams, which is way lower, and I can feel great, right? I can feel amazing. So I believe we are coming to the end of another video. I hope you guys liked it. I hope that I brought cool informations for those who didn't make this bunch of research or anything. And I hope that my personal experience can help you because I know how it is. I feel like people with HPPD probably have the same mentality I do about it, especially if it is strong HPPD, if it is a crippling anxiety thing, you know. And I think I brought some alternatives to how to get the same relief you would get from benzos or not needing any relief at all by making your GABA system better long term, right? So, or pursue it to get rid of anxiety isn't the best drug to be taken every day for anxiety. It's actually understanding the brain mechanisms and working on them just so you get daily benefits, long term benefits, right? And it's a very, very slippery slope, right? It's a very slippery slope because you are fucking with your brain. So take care, right? Take care. You need to be careful. You need to do your own research, right? Listen to people that makes research, right? Even people that makes research can be wrong in lots of things. They can mistake lots of things. They can have conclusions of lots of things that aren't correct, right? So what's my idea of how to recover at least GABA receptor wise and anxiety wise from HPPD or any benzo abuse that you might have gone through is drink coffee every morning and exercise as hell. If you can, run a lot. If you can, take kava. It's better than lots of things. If you are still into benzos and don't have a problem with them, try out microdosing Valium once in a while and see how your tolerance changes when you finally take it again. And try out cycling anxiety meds instead of taking them too often, like pregabalin one day, Valium the other day, or Klonopin the other day, and Kavain the other day, and a few days break, right? Exercise as hell. Exercise is great for everything. If you can take other herbs, other things that improves brain activity, I recommend you to get them too, right? I hope I made a more serious video than the other ones. I hope probably could have helped somebody with this video. If you have anything to say, please comment, and see you guys in the next video, I guess. Or you all know me from Reddit, so fuck.